Welcome to Pelvic Biz Podcast. I'm Dr. Kelly Alhui. I've grown my pelvic health practice, orthopelvic physical therapy, and now I'm helping pelvic health professionals do the same. Each week, I give you the knowledge you need to grow your practice. Let's get into today's episode. Today, we're going to be going over habits. What is a habit? How is a habit created? Habits typically is something that goes on automatically in your brain. Habits are something that has been ingrained in us ever since we were little kids. And some of us have bad habits and some of us have good habits. A habit that I would say most millennials are really used to is when our parents used to say, eat all your food and then you'll get dessert. Well, that is a habit that has been created that let me eat my dinner to then get this sweet treat at night. Now, is that a good habit? I think some people would argue that that isn't a good habit. But it's something that has literally been ingrained in us ever since we were little kids. And in times of stress, that is when our habits start to come into play. And whether or not you want them to come into play or not, we typically always resort back to our habits. So when people are creating new habits, it can be very, very challenging. And because of that, I always like to attach an old habit with a new habit. So in the morning, which I'll go over my new habit routine, in the morning when I have to take vitamins, I typically always I wake up and I get a glass of water in the morning. Okay. That I've been used to. So because of that, when I take the glass of water, then I need to also attach the new habit, which is the vitamins. So old habit's the water, drinking the water, new habit is the vitamins. So the water is going to trigger my new habit. If you just say, okay, I'm just going to leave it to chance and I'm going to remember to do this new habit today, the likelihood of that habit actually being created is few and far between. Also, a habit has to be done something that's repetitive. So if you just do it on Mondays, then it's truly not going to become a habit because you're not repetitively doing the same task or doing the same thing over and over again, especially when something's new. So, and you're probably thinking, Kelly, why are we talking about habits today? What does this have to do with business? It has to do so much with business because habits are going to make you successful in business. And whenever success, however you define that, it's going to help in all directions of success, whether or not that's financial, health, just hanging out with your family, that could be successful. Like, however you define that, it's going to help you. Okay. Habits have actually given me more peace of mind instead of my business dragging me with it. Like I'm now in control of my businesses instead of my business is just running me and I'm just like behind the truck being pulled. Now I'm actually in the driver's seat of that truck because of habits. So the biggest thing with habits, like here's my routine. So I wake up in the morning. Well, number one, I always go to bed by 10 o'clock. I'm in bed by 10 o'clock. That's a habit. So if you're not going to bed on time, guys, or, when you want, make it a habit that maybe you set your alarm that by 9:45, your alarm goes off. And that means you have to go upstairs and lie in bed. That's number one. Plus us females, we need a lot of sleep. We need 7 to 8 to 9 hours of sleep to get our hormones to actually recover. It's the biggest thing that we can do for our hormones. Okay. And those that know me, I'm huge about health and business because it's my own personal journey. It's my own personal struggle. And I really want to help those with health and business. Okay. That being said, when I wake up probably around 7:30. When I wake up at 7:30, I get up, I go downstairs, I get some water. That's already a habit I've created. Now I'm attaching a new habit, which is all these vitamins to help with gut health and everything else. Then after that, I now have to go outside for a walk, something I hate doing in the cold, but I make myself do. So whether or not it's a 10-minute walk, a 5-minute walk, a 20-minute, an hour walk, just make yourself go and get some sunlight in your eyeballs so that you start getting into that rhythm of like, okay, sun comes up, I'm up, I need to move. and get outside. You feel the cold air. I mean, we're in Northern Virginia, so we feel cold. If you're in Southern California, you may not. But you feel that cold air and it's like, all right, I'm going to get my day started. It just gets the energy into the body. Okay. And by the way, I don't touch my phone. Notice I've not touched my phone yet. Like I'm back for my walk. My walk can be anywhere between 10 to 20 minutes, not long. Okay. And then I just sit there, and my husband typically has made tea at that point. I sit and I drink tea and I just breathe. Still won't touch my phone. After I'm done with that, I then eat something. After I'm done eating, then I get my phone. My phone is the reward. So I cannot touch my phone, which is probably about 2 hours after I wake up. And the reason why is it like the phone is like the crack. Okay. I want to see how many problems that I have to solve that day. But I know this. If I touch my phone before I do any of like the walking, the drinking water, the vitamins, oh, and you have to poop, so not to poop in there, eating and all the things, okay? I will not do half of that morning routine that I promised to myself because now the phone and the problems have now distracted me. So it is a promise to myself that I have to do these things to then get my reward, which my reward is to solve problems for the day. I mean, it's kind of psycho, I guess, if you think about it. But I want to solve those problems. And so that's my reward is that's what I get. Now, once I get my phone, I then also have boundaries I've had to set to where I'm not getting every notification that possibly comes in on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, LinkedIn, YouTube, Voxer, all the things. I had to turn off all notifications. You know why? That then gives me the power, and it doesn't hand the power over to the people. I decide when I want to hit the button. I decide when I want to solve a problem. That's super, super empowerment. Like it's just, you take back the power. Take back your freaking power. Don't give it up to other people. Super, super important. So in doing that and taking back the power, I then literally time block my day. So on Mondays, I typically batch a lot of content. So typically Monday mornings, I'm doing lots of content batching. So I'll do podcasts, I'll do posts for Instagram, YouTube, LinkedIn, all the things. I'm talking to my team members. I'm talking to Hannah, who helps me with PelviBiz, and I'm saying, hey, what's the plan for the week? We have meetings. I also have my personal coaching that goes on from my personal coach. So I also get coached every Monday. That helps me be built up to have the energy for the week. I then also have my trainer come in the afternoon and work out with him. I also then do my own self-development and come up with my own plan for the week of what that looks like. So because I'm able to time block, because I've gotten in the habit of saying, no, I'm only going to do it this day, this time, my life has gotten a lot more simpler and I'm in actually control of it. And I know, guys, at first it is so hard for you to be like, I have to time block. Like this sounds it sounds so simple, but it's so hard at the same time. You try time blocking and say, I'm only going to do this one task during this time. And the amount of distractions that try to come in during that 1 hour, that 15 minutes, whatever you time block for, you'll be like, holy shit, like this is crazy that I get so distracted even in 15 minutes. How do people do this for an hour? It's crazy. But if you can hyper focus and start to create habits that actually benefit you, which is, eating well, which is sleeping well, which is staying off your cell phone as much as possible, which is time blocking, which is setting boundaries for yourself. Okay. That's super important. Boundaries are probably the hardest thing for me that I've had to put into place. But I've also realized, with setting boundaries that people will honor, how do I want to say this? People will keep pushing the boundary until you really stand firm in that boundary. And when you're talking about creating habits, you actually have to have lots and lots of boundaries in place. if that makes sense, so that you can actually build up these habits. Otherwise, if you're like, I'll just leave whatever to the day, and then all of a sudden, all these habits are broken. You're not doing anything because you're in la la land, because you're just like trying to keep your head above the water. And again, like I said at the beginning, the car is dragging you behind, which is your business, and you're not in the driver's seat. And you want to be in the driver's seat. So think about it today. What habits are you going to actually create that's going to be really impactful on your business? So for me, it's doing podcasts. For me, it's doing social media posts. For me, it's getting out there and marketing with my community. Those are things that I have to create every week to be to keep being relevant in the world of business. Okay. What are other things? And from a health standpoint, like I said, I need to sleep. I need to eat well. I need to make sure I eat breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Sometimes us entrepreneurs, we don't eat. I'm sure people can relate to that because you're just busy. Okay. But really, it's just lack of a priority. When everyone says they're busy, it just means that's low on my priority list and I don't like doing it. That's all that it means. So, there's many different things, but I want you to start thinking, what is one new habit that I can put in place that is then going to help my business? It's going to also help my personal life as well, because they both work hand in hand. So what is that? That's what I want you to think about. And then start to think about how can you integrate that into your schedule and create boundaries that's going to make that actually happen. And what other habit that you already have in place are you then going to attach this new habit with? Leave it in the comments below. I consider myself a business and life coach. Are you ready to live the life of your dreams as an entrepreneur? If so, let's chat. See the episode notes below and go ahead and book a call. See you all next week.